been sitting here chatting about a whole bunch of things and shooting a lot of content and a lot of really, really good stuff that I think everybody's going to enjoy. But let's try to lighten the mood a little bit. Let's learn a little bit about your career. What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you while you were out in the field?
Boy, there's I've been doing this a long time, 15 years. I would have to say one of the more funnier things that happened is I was training my little brother. My little brother's an insurance agent as well. We were working together, and I was his trainer. And we knocked on this couple's door, told them why we were in the area. They let us in to show a cancer policy, and it was right at supper time. And this lady said, before we go over anything, you guys have to have supper with us. So I'm like, hey, I love a good home cooked meal, as you can probably see.
All right.
But it was so funny because they had a couple other family members over, and they were doing a very traditional, like I think it was German dish. It was
okay.
So
All
she
right.
said it was a traditional German meal. So I'm like, all right, I'm German, cool. Like let's do it. So me and my brothers,
Bratwurst, okay.
yeah, we're having sauerkraut. Awesome. So it was funny because we sit down and we're shooting the breeze with everybody there, and the gal comes over, and she puts it down, and it's a pie. It's a meat pie. Like I've never had a meat pie before, but it's this giant pie, and it looked amazing. A meat pie. So yeah, never had it. Apparently it's a German traditional dish in their family. So we start eating it, and she dishes me a piece of it, and then my brother's to my right. And it looked pretty good, but I started eating it, and the meat inside this pie was just not good. Oh. It was the worst meat I think I've ever had. So I'm like choking this down, and I can tell by my brother that like he's choking it down too,
Right.
So we're eating this thing, and just out of respect, I finished this thing, and everybody else at the table finished it. And my brother's just struggling to get the rest of it down, So we're kind of sitting there, and I see my brother, sitting there, and there's this one giant piece left in there. And I look right at the elderly woman, and her name was Margaret. I said, Margaret, my brother's afraid to ask you, but he's still hungry. Is there any way you could give him? No. I go, can you give him another piece? And she goes, oh, he can have the rest. And I said, all right. So she slides it over to him, and I look over, and my brother's looking at me, and he's just like furious. He's just got this red look in his eyes, So sure enough, man, he starts kind of eating this thing, and I'm like, oh man, he's never gonna finish this. Right. So about 45 minutes later, I look over, and he's finishing the last chunk of whatever was in that pie, man. Oh. But I would have to say that was one of the more funnier moments because I could just tell how bad it was on him. So yeah.
All right, geez, I'm never trusting you.
Yeah, don't go to dinner with me, man. I'll make you eat stuff you don't want to eat.
Yeah, by the way, I think it's about time for you to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, I can't believe you did that to your own brother.
We've had a lot of good times. There's so many to think of, and I'm sure we'll share a lot more of those.
Maybe at some point we'll get to share with everybody how time to put the tractor tire through somebody's garage. So.
I did do that. Don't roll tractor tires down any hill in a neighborhood. That's all I can say.
Oh, that's funny. Thanks for sharing. Man.
You betcha.
It's a good way to end
it's
up.
My
today.
pleasure.
So,
you bet.
all right. Well, thanks again for coming. Appreciate it. And,
anytime.
Now let's go have some fun.
You betcha.